And this is why we are very proud as a middle school team to introduce our, ready? Our Superintendent Cabrera.
Good job. Awesome, man. Good job, Lisa. Good to see you. You ready? Welcome back, Hunter. Are we ready? Good morning. Welcome to 2017-18 school year. That's the year, 2017-18. I had to think about it. We go so fast, I forget where we're at. And welcome to EPISD Connect. I'm so excited I get to be here with middle school teachers. We're streaming to 9 locations across the district, so we've got all the schools, all our teachers are listening to us right now, but we decided to come here where all the middle school teachers are. You know, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Yeah, that's right. We love all our teachers, and you're all important. Each of us play an important role in the life of a child and the growth of a child. 27 years ago this year, I started teaching first grade, and I love the first grade kids because they still think that you hung the moon and everything you say is important. But the most important and difficult job is middle schools, right? It is. Think about it. You know, they no longer think that adults know everything, right? And they all of a sudden figure out that they can maybe talk back a bit and be a little difficult and challenging. They're going through all these changes. And then there's people like you that just love middle school. And I don't know what we do without middle school teachers. You really are the most important bridge. You know where we lose most of our kids, where we struggle? Between 5th and 6th grade. And then going to 8th and 9th. That critical transitionary phase. That time when you take care of our adolescents as they're going from self-contained classrooms, they have to get lockers and do things differently. Your support for them, not academically, right? Academically is just part of the job. Your support for our middle school kids, critically important. So I want you to know, we know that you're the most important part of the puzzle, and we respect you, we dedicate, we just appreciate folks that want to teach middle school. I taught 1 year at 6th grade. Hard work, challenging work. You guys are special. Anyway, welcome to EPISD Connect. This is, from what I've talked to teachers about, this is one of the favorite times of year, a time where you get to collaborate with your peers, folks that teach the same subject areas. You can work together, you can learn from each other, you can collaborate. You know, I want you to know that this September I would have been in El Paso 4 years. And I want you to not only get excited about the year and excited about working for the kids, but I want you to be proud of EPISD. I want you to be, excited to be part of this district. And we're not perfect, and we're learning. We're trying to get better. But I want you to know, so 4 years ago when we arrived, we couldn't build a strategic plan because we knew we were going to go from a board of appointed trustees to an elected trustee. So we decided to just set 4 strategic priorities. And I want to tell you those, I want to talk to you about those because they stand true for us today. We said that the new EPISD was going to lead with character and ethics across the district. No matter what we did, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to work hard. We're going to do whatever it takes for kids and for families, but we're going to do that with character and ethics. And we also decided that we were going to build community partnerships. See, EPISD wasn't a good community partner. When I talked to folks around the city, they didn't really want to do business with us. We were too slow. We were complicated. We were siloed. But then we just, you know what? This is a community resources. Every one of our salaries is paid for with tax dollars. We belong to the community. Each one of your schools is a community where you sit, right? You're a part of the community. You're a critical part of the community. So we're going to give back, and we're going to be partners. And you've done a great job at that. People are calling us constantly that want to partner with us and build deeper relationships with us because they know we're open for business. And then we committed to active learning, right? What's active learning mean? It can mean a lot of things, and we're going to talk a bit about that, but I just want to tell you the idea there was that we know that many of our kids, from where they come from, where they grow up, they don't get a chance to build the social and emotional skills that are important for success in life. You know, that ability to collaborate, to be a creative thinker, to get to problem solve. And you really can't do that well if you're sitting in a row all the time, right? We know that if kids are actively engaged in their learning, as you saw there, we know that they're going to get stronger. Absolutely, we know they are. Not just for academics, but for life. So that was an important. And then the last strategic priority of the 4 was great schools great schools in every neighborhood, or great schools, great community schools. That's another way of saying equity. We have 92 schools in the district, but it's not good enough to have 20 great schools or 25 great schools. See, that's not equity. And this is a lot easier said than done. Our goal is that your zip code will not dictate the quality of your education. That we're going to find a way, and it's hard, and we may not ever get there, but we're going to fight every day to get there. Your zip code will not dictate the quality and opportunity that you're offered at this school district. We're going to make sure that every child has the same opportunity. And we're not there yet. We're starting, we're getting better, and we're going to keep doing that. And you've done a great job thus far of turning the corner and getting us ready. So let's talk about a few of the exciting initiatives that are starting this year, so you can be proud of that and know what's going on. This fall, we're opening the Young Women's Single Gender New Tech STEAM Academy at where Armendariz is. So that's a first in the nation, right? EPISD is the first in the country to do that, and that's all EPISD teachers, led by Dr. Ontiveros. We're really excited about that. We hope you go by and see that, and hopefully get a chance for you to get exposed to that. We're also opening IB at Andrus. Very excited about it. And why is that important? That goes to one of our strategic priorities. Coronado's the oldest IB in El Paso. It's been 18 years, I think we've had it. But nobody ever thought about putting IB in another part of the city. And we did. We said, Andrus can do it, why not? They can do it, and they're going to do it. That's exciting, right? I love that. And now we're going to open 3 more IB middle schools to our commitment that in every neighborhood, in every part of the city, we can build great schools and we can offer the same opportunities for kids. So we're also working on, and I got to look at my paper here because I don't have all these memorized. Give me a few minutes here. So I talked to you about the IB, talked to you also with regards to New Tech. We have 6 New Tech campuses. So New Tech is a school design network, right? It's a project-based learning collaborative network. And if you haven't had a chance to visit one, let's work with your administrators. I want every teacher. Now we've got enough of them. We're opening 2 more this year. So when we start the school year, we'll have 8 New Tech network schools within a school. We have enough scale. We have them all over the city. And I want to make sure that all of you get a chance to visit them. So over time, we'll work with the substitutes, and we'll give you a chance to see that. So we're the largest, we're going to be one of the largest New Tech network partners in the country. And we're committed to that. Yeah, it's exciting. El Paso ISD. And just like we're focused on active learning, we're focused and we're committed to making sure that these are the best New Tech schools in the country, and that no matter where they are, whether Bowie or Franklin or Irvin, that they're the best, and they offer tremendous opportunities for kids. You know, a couple of our high school principals that started the cohorts, is that time to go to class? Started the cohorts 3 years ago, told me that the 9th graders that were in those classes, remember, and this is project-based learning, there's no drill and kill going on there. These kids were some of the most mature 9th graders they'd ever had in their 15, 20 years in school. And these kids, there's no application. Anybody can get into New Tech. Basically, you just have to sign up. We don't care about your background and what's going on. We don't care about your other grades. Everybody gets in. And those kids across the board are scoring higher than their 9th grade cohorts on STAR. That's important. That's what we want. We don't want to focus on STAR. We're not going to let STAR define our school district, but we're going to build dynamic, holistic opportunities for kids and still do well at STAR, right? That's what you're going to do, and that's what we're all going to do together. Two other points of pride that I want you to know about, and we're going to be sure to message this out. Digital Promise, which is a national network, created a League of Innovative Schools. There's 16,000 school districts in America. Only 86 school districts were asked, are currently a part of the League of Innovative Schools. If you get a chance, go to Digital Promise's website. You'll see that El Paso ISD is one of the 86 school districts out of 16,000 that's part of the League of Innovative Schools. And that's because they believe in us. They know that we can build innovation. We care about kids. So congratulations to all of you for that selection. We're also one of only 10 school districts chosen by the University of Chicago to participate in an organization called CASEL. CASEL.org. You can go to their website. It's a Center for Academic and Social Emotional Learning. That's a recognition by them that we care about this. We're one of the only school districts in the country that calls out in their student learning goals social and emotional learning goals. I'll talk about those in just a moment. None of our student learning goals talks about the STAR test. And when we built that plan, the student learning goals, we visited with over 4,000 people in the community, and we asked them one question: what should an EPISD graduate know and be able to do? And that's how we created our student learning goals. So being part of CASEL is exciting, and we're about to announce another exciting initiative. Microsoft from Seattle has chosen us as one of only, I think, 5 school districts in the country to pilot a social and emotional learning app that they want to create to help us develop that work across the country. We're going to be one of the leaders in that and hopefully create an application that will be used around the world. So congratulations on that as well. Just a couple of other highlights. Thanks to you and thanks to the culture that we're shifting in the community support, we passed a historic bond in 2016. And it wouldn't have happened without all of you. It's a big deal for us, right? The largest bond in the history of the city, obviously the largest in the history of the district. We're going to close some schools. We're building a lot. We have 30 new projects. We've already got turf at our high school starting. They'll all have that. We're going to have playgrounds and shading across our elementary schools. We're going to have lights for the first time. Our baseball and softball coaches know this. We're going to have lights for the first time, which is great for our kids. That's exciting. And we've got a number of new buses that we've already purchased. We've already put those bond dollars. And then importantly for you in middle school, this is exciting, right? But it's also challenging. I want to talk about this. Because of the bond, every middle school kid is going to have, and ninth grader, is going to have an Apple laptop in their hands, right? You know, thanks to the voters and thanks especially to our middle school and high school teachers for understanding that this is a change we have to make for kids. Our freshmen were born in 2003. Can you believe that? Freshmen were born in 2003. If you didn't feel old before I said that, you should feel old now. You know, they're not like us. For 150 years, we did education the same way. I went to school the same way my parents went to school. Same for you. The same way my grandparents went to school, right? But then now we get into the 21st century and our kids are just not like us. So now what this school district's doing, and I appreciate you, you know, this is not for me, it's not for the trustees, it's for the kids. And I know it's hard. We're focusing less on teaching and more on learning. So what's that mean? We're saying that, of course it's still about the teaching, but we're trying to think about how we engage kids more. Because I want you to think about this. Here's a conundrum of the 21st century education model. It's fascinating. I love this. And this is going to be the debate that's raging now, and we're in the middle of it. We're one of the school districts facing the challenge. So as a school district, that's it? Could you have been more subtle than that, like some signs or something? That would have been easier, not so embarrassing. So school districts historically, when we went to school, they just, you know, you memorize stuff. They gave you information, and you learned the information, you gave it back to them. That's what schools have always been. There are a lot of folks today that are espousing the value that schools are supposed to teach kids how to think. Teach kids how to think. Not just teach them to memorize. I mean, think about it. When I was in school, I always hated that kid that could memorize the 50 states, and then they could do the Declaration of Independence and all these things that I couldn't do. And we thought that kid's smart, he's the smartest kid. Well, you got a good memory. You got a photographic memory. You can memorize stuff. Does that mean that you're going to be great in the workplace? Does that mean that you know how to think? It doesn't, right? I mean, it's likely that you are if you've got a great memory, but it doesn't mean that. So think about that. That's where we are. And EPIC is not waiting for somebody else to give us the answer. We're crossing that chasm. And we're saying, okay, we're going to put a laptop in the hands of these kids. Because I want you to know, it's not just about giving them technology. This technology, some call it the great civil rights equalizer of the 21st century. Technology is ubiquitous, right? You can get a lot of good and bad on the internet. We can talk about that. But when you say that every kid, every 6th and 7th and 8th grader and 9th grader, and all our high school kids, no matter where they live, no matter what zip code they live in, they get a laptop, and we're going to trust them to take it home, we're giving them a chance to have the same access to information no matter what their financial situation is at home. That's a wonderful thing. That's awesome. Congratulations. We're making a difference. So it doesn't matter what your home life is like. It doesn't matter how much money your parents make. You're getting the same laptop that every kid across the district's getting. And with your support as teachers, you're going to help them get ready for 21st century jobs. But I want to acknowledge that all of you in here, all of our high school teachers, anybody getting exposed to this is still your classroom. We made a commitment that we needed to put technology in the hands of kids, but it's your classroom. We'd like you to move as fast as you can, because let me just tell you, you all know this. If you're not ready, what's going to happen to the kids? They'll get way ahead of you when it comes to technology. They are. I mean, they move fast. They're going to, just like our kids do at home, they're going to teach us what to do with the laptops. But it's still your classroom. If you need to have them put those away, you're managing classroom management with active learning, with laptops, with any initiative we're trying to bring in. It's your classroom. We're not forcing that on you. We're asking you to open your mind and to challenge yourself, to try to integrate those in the way you teach. And we know that you will over time, but you do it on your timeline. You own the classroom. You take care of the kids. You do what's best for you and your own sanity as we try to keep our minds together for 170 days. And it's tough. I know what it's like. It comes to May, and you're counting the days as fast as the kids are counting the days. We're all in the same boat. But it's important that you know that it's your classroom. We support you. We'll help you, and we're going to try to give you as much guidance as we can. We're starting our second cohort of active learning and framework. 1,000 teachers will be trained by the end of the year, and all 4,000 teachers will be trained. Look, we're not saying this is the only way to do it. Active learning could be defined in many different ways. But again, just like the laptops, we want to give you some tools. We want to help you think differently about education. We want to help you answer the question, am I supposed to help kids memorize and only get ready for the STAR? Or am I supposed to help them learn how to think, learn how to collaborate, learn how to get better prepared for life? I've answered that question for myself, and I think that's what the answer is, but you need to answer it for yourself, because that really is the core of what we are, and it's going to be the core of schools in the 21st century. I'm very excited about this. We've gone through a couple different machinations over the years at EPISD of what our curriculum team should be doing and how they better support you. But we just decided as we're trying to drive more resources to schools, we did some research, and we found that 800 school districts out of the 1,200 in Texas use a curriculum that they purchase. It has instructional focus. It gives you some ideas on how to teach the TEKS. It gives you a year at a glance so you can backward design the year. We're not going to design our own curriculum. We're going to use the same curriculum that 800 districts use very successfully. The state's committed to it. The service centers are supporting it. And we're going to do the same. We don't want you to focus as much and make it complicated to learn a new curriculum every year. We're going to use the state purchased curriculum that 800 other districts use, so hopefully that makes your job easier across the district. That's K-12, right? All of us are going to have access to that, and I hope you're excited about that, and we want to streamline that part of the work. So let me finish on a few other notes. I want you to know It's been a challenging 4 years. It's been tough. We don't like to talk about the past too much, but it's important to remember the past so you can understand how far we come. 4 years ago, we're the largest school district in the history of state of Texas to lose our trustees. We were under state control. The next step from there is closing your school district. And it's happened before. They've closed smaller districts and sent the kids to surrounding districts. So we were under state control. When I decided to take this job 4 years ago, I had only come in and out of El Paso. I had never stayed here more than a weekend or a week at a time, visit some family here. But I know El Pasoans, love this place, great people. And I knew that we shouldn't be judged. We had 9,000 employees. You can't judge El Paso ISD on the bad actions of a few people. I know, and I knew we had it in us. And I said, I'd love to be a part of that story. I'd love to lead through that challenge and change and climb this mountain from state control. See, we weren't at ground zero. We were below ground zero. From a governance standpoint, thanks to you, our schools kept running and we kept operating. But truth be told, we were in trouble at central office. We had a lot of issues. So we've turned the corner. 2 years ago, we made a transition to an elected board of trustees. And admittedly so, we spent most of our time on governance, financial issues, dealing with declining enrollment, trying to get our house in order. Now that doesn't directly impact you in the classroom every day, but you're going to start to see the benefits now. We need to have a healthy central office that's focused on schools, that, to put it bluntly, that has their act together so that we can build great schools across the entire district. It's not good enough to have great principals, handfuls of them that just build a few great schools. That's inequity. That's not fair. It's not right. We're a tax-funded organization that needs to have great schools, and we're going to do that with central office. So now what you're going to see, really excited about this, 12 school districts in Texas were required to change their focus at the board level to focus more on student outcomes. Your trustees did it voluntarily, the only district in the state. Just like District of Innovation, we're the first one in the state to do it and still the largest urban to do it, right? Your trustees did that. So they decided, even though they weren't required to by the state, we went to the training, and it was really intense. And this training is specifically to say, trustees, lead by example. 70 to 80% of your meetings, and it's going to be hard, we're trying to make this shift, 70 to 80% of your meetings should focus on student outcomes. So we talk about student learning goals, and that's a shift that we're making. And what you're going to see, now that we cleared the fog a bit, we're just getting out of all the oversight and caps. We've been under oversight from the feds and from the state for 5 years. All of that's getting cleared up. We're getting full control of the district and every aspect of it. Thanks to all of you. Congratulations for your dedication, sticking in there and sticking with EPISD. We're turning the corner and we're very excited. But what you're going to see is a shift, more and more time and energy spent on classrooms, and more time and energy spent on supporting you. So I want to cover 2 areas real quickly, and then I want to make a couple of announcements, and we'll let you go to get the school year started. So why the focus on SEL? Why the focus when I talk about the student learning goals? I don't know if we have them to put up there, but let me see if I can read these. So what did the community come up with in terms of our student learning goals? Critical, knowledgeable, and creative thinkers. Boy, it's hard to get old, right? I couldn't read this to save my life. Okay, let's see. I know it's effective bilingual communicators, problem solvers, responsible leaders, productive citizens, and socially and emotionally intelligent individuals. Did anybody hear me mention STAR? No, right? Is STAR important? Absolutely it is, because that's how we're judged with our peers. So let me share with you, and I've never done this publicly, let me share with you my vision for why we do SEL and why it's important. My vision is that STAR is just but one marker in a school year. It shouldn't define the school year. We'll never get back to a place where the curriculum becomes so narrow and the focus becomes so narrow that STAR drives your entire year. You know, when I arrived, we had horrible discipline rates because when you narrow the curriculum, kids get fidgety. It's hard. If you're drilling and killing, you're just focused on STAR and that's all we do, and we make you, because, you know, the teachers feel the pressure, you're going to do the same thing. And we weren't doing well with discipline. Our discipline rates have plummeted. Now look, I know they've changed some rules at the state, and it's harder to get some help from the local JPs. And I know it's hard when you've got to deal with discipline in your classroom rather than sending them out. But two things I want to tell you. We know if you build relationships with kids and you get to know them, the chances and opportunity for them to learn improve greatly, right? And we know that if they spend more time in their chairs in your classroom, their chances for success increase greatly. But I also know we're committed to this. We're not in any way going to jeopardize your safety, your health and well-being. And we know that there's just some kids that need a break, need to get out of a classroom, and you need your support. So you've got my commitment, and you tell your principal if it's not working that way. We're committed to keeping our kids in the classrooms. We're committed to keeping our discipline and referral rates and kicking kids out of school. We're committed to minimizing that, but we're equally as committed to your health, safety, and well-being, and making sure that you have safe classrooms, not just for you, but for all the other kids in there, right? It's not fair. It's not fair for a kid that misbehaves to disrupt education for other kids. I want you to try to do your best to take care of that child, but you're not going to jeopardize the your health and safety and the health and safety of others. So thanks for that. Thanks for your commitment. And thanks to your folks on SEL. So why is SEL important? We know that in life, it's very rarely success built on just your academics. It's a combination of a lot of things. How does a child, especially if a kid from poverty, a kid that doesn't have maybe educated adults around them, how do they ever build collaboration skills and critical thinking skills? And how do they get a chance to fail forward and be creative thinkers? How do they do that if you're just lecturing to them? How do they do it? They just can't, right? There's only one way. So think about this. We call this a learning behind the learning. Unfortunately, none of that is required by the state, and at this point, even though they're trying to, we're not going to be graded on that. Nobody cares that we care about that. But I want you in your heart to know that it's the right thing to do. And just because the state doesn't recognize that SEL is important, we do. Because we care about kids, we love our kids, and we're going to do everything we can every day that we have them to make them better, well-rounded individuals. So thank you for that. Please, thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. And they're giving me the hook. I said 5 minutes. I'm already speaking more. But one more thing that's really important. I am EPISD. If you haven't heard it, I want you to hear it from me. How did that come about? Yeah, I love this. When I first came here, we said, we need a new logo. I want to change the logo. We want to change the image. We want a different face on the school district. So we thought we'd hire a marketing firm. We'd do some surveys. We'd do some polling. And then in that first year, as we were putting our work together and thinking about it, I visited every school in the first year. And I talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands probably, parents. And virtually everyone came up to me and pointed their finger and said, this is what you need to do to turn this around. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. And I was thinking, gosh, I'm never going to be able to do it. This is impossible. How can I do all this? All these ideas. And then I started thinking, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make EPISD great? What are you going to do to build the wildly successful, exciting community for kids? What's your role in that? And I thought, there's 9,000 of us. So we started talking. We said, you know what, let's put I am EPISD as a footer on our email to say, I am EPISD. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part to fulfill the dreams we have as a district to build a great school district. And that turned into our logo. And it really means a lot. This is just not some slick, fancy logo. I want you to know there's very few organizations that I know of in the world whose logo reflects an underlying value that they hold true to. That each of us, in all of our roles, plays a difference in our success and the way we take care of kids. Right? So, how about on the count of three, everybody says, I am EPISD. You ready? 1, 2, 3. I am EPISD. That's right. All right. Now think about that. So when you don't feel like getting up in the morning, which is probably already going to be tomorrow, and Monday morning when the kids are all excited and you're just trying to catch your wits, remember you are EPISD and you make a difference. 2 more announcements and I promise that I'm going to get out of here. Yesterday we announced, and we had done this, we are trying to get better. And it's hard at every school to take care of every parent's needs. So we've asked the trustees and they've approved. And if you don't have this, talk to your principals. We've got a central line and a central email where we're going to be like an overflow. If they can't get to you at the school, if somebody's not getting the support they need, we're going to open it up to the entire community to call. And we're going to create a call center. We're going to do social media. We're going to do apps. We're going to figure out a way so that everyone gets taken care of. We want to make sure that every family, every child that needs something, first and foremost, will get it at their schools. But if it's an evening, a weekend, or if it's summertime or a break, we want to be open 24/7 to take care of folks. And we're going to answer those calls. We're going to have somebody staff those all the time, right? So we thought about that. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback about that. Very excited about it. But then I thought about all the emails I received from folks like you. For people telling me that, I've asked for this, I can't get this, or, Human Resources has 15 or 20 people. It's hard to get to everybody all the time. So you've got my commitment, because you're it. You're the ones that make everything happen in the cloud. Without you, none of us have a job. If you're not making a difference in the lives of kids every day, then all of our work is futile. And I know it's hard. I know all your needs don't get met. I hear from you. You talk to me. I get emails. So we're going to announce in the next 2 weeks, and we haven't even talked about this yet, so now I'm going to say it publicly, and we're stuck. We're going to create a customer support line for our team EPISD. 24/7, 7 days a week, we're going to find a vehicle to be sure that we answer everyone's needs. If we can get you to a place where you're happy and proud of where you work, we know you're going to take care of kids, and that's what matters the most. So I'm looking forward to that. If you got other ideas on how we can better support you, that's my sole focus. Keeps me up at night. We want to know how we help you become better teachers. So I'm excited for the school year. I'm excited for all we've achieved. But more importantly, the future's never been brighter for EPISD. Really. It's the fog's cleared. We've gotten through a lot of challenges. The FBI is not calling me anymore. I don't have to talk to them. It's wonderful. I spent more time with the FBI than I did with the PTA in my first year. And that's not right. But that's all gone. You've done it. You picked this district up. And not only did, people would have been happy for us to be average. We're going to be much more than average. We're going to be great. We're going to be a national model for building great community schools across the city. But it doesn't happen without you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for dedicating your lives to kids. I wish you a great school year, and we'll see you around. Thank you so much.